Hello again, and today I want to talk a wee bit about something that has been very much a part of my life experience over the past 5 years. It's something that really I have really strong views on, and so you'll forgive me if I offend anybody during the making of this video, to which I would say I really couldn't care less. I have a wee boy. My wee boy is now 6, he turned 6 in February, and when he was just reaching 1 year old, his dad, I found out he had been having an affair, and he left us just like that, and went, and he has now started a family with this other girl. Now this was over 5 years ago, so the fact that he is with somebody else, he has his own family, does not bother me in the slightest. Let's make that perfectly clear. What bothers me is his father, since he left, when he first walked out, he never came back for about 3 or 4 months. There was no contact or anything, and bear in mind he had been there for the first full year of my son's life, and that is when children tend to make their strongest bonds. He after that, and of course I was by that point seeing a lawyer, and we were going through a divorce and try to instate some sort of custody arrangement, and he refused to take him overnight, stating that his girlfriend owned the house and she didn't like my son being present in the house, and whatever else, and this went on for forever and ever and ever, and he seen him on a Sunday from, was supposed to be 10 o'clock until 7 o'clock, and has now 5 years down the line changed from about 1 o'clock until 5 o'clock, I think, is the best we expect to get out of those visits for Stephen, which is my son. He goes now on a Wednesday, and this Wednesday was the result of years and years of struggle, arguing with him, fighting with him, trying to make him see that Stephen really needed to see his dad, not because I needed space from my son, not to benefit me in any way, but he really wanted just to spend some time with his dad. So he refused, the Wednesday refused, and I said, well, if that's the case, don't bother coming back, thinking that at that point maybe he would sit up and take notice and fight a wee bit. No, he really didn't bother coming back, and he never came back for about 6 months. He then texted me after a period of about 6 months and said that he would like to see Stephen again, and he suggested the Wednesday as if it was completely his idea in the first place, and of course the Sunday again. Now in this time he had managed to get himself a flat. He made me believe that him and this girl were having problems, which is neither here nor there, I'm really not bothered, but he got himself a flat, and he had always promised Stephen that when Dad gets his own flat, you can come and stay, you'll have your own room. So after he had this flat for some period of time, I had asked him whether he was going to start taking my son overnight. So he did. Eventually he took him one night, and then on the Monday morning he went to the council and gave the flat up, saying that he had rent arrears, and he went back, and he went back to this girl who I don't think they had ever really been apart, you know, and they now have 2 children. And it angers me that he never comes if I phone him, and my son, we believe, has behavioural difficulties, and I've been banging my head against a brick wall for many years, arguing with social workers, doctors, health visitors, psychologists, the school, trying to get somebody to sit and have a wee chat to Stephen, give him, I don't know, what they observe him for a year. I know this, it takes a very long time, but even just getting that process started, it takes a lot of work. And he never comes when I need him. My son chopped his finger off, yes, in the door one night. The high wind caught my mother's balcony door, slammed it, and it took Stephen's wee finger, well, the top of his finger, clean off. Tried to phone his dad, he would not pick up the phone. So my partner, he took us to the hospital. I mean, he wouldn't have not taken us to the hospital, but of course I thought it was his father's place to be told, and it wasn't until we text saying your son has cut the top of his finger off that he actually phoned and said, oh sorry, I never heard my phone, which is always the excuse we get. I could phone him on a Monday, I could phone him on a Tuesday, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday. He will not pick up the phone because the way he sees it, he is not Stephen's dad until he turns up here on a Wednesday and turns up here on a Sunday. And this is the bone of fucking contention for me, because if you go out of your way to have a child, I mean Stephen was planned, if you go and have a child with somebody, it doesn't matter who you are sticking your fucking dick in, really, you are still that child's father. It doesn't matter if you live with somebody else for 7 days of the week, those 7 days of the week you are still your child's father, whether or not you live with them. You know, if the child's mother phones you and pleads for you to go and assist her because she is having difficulties with your child, it is your fucking responsibility, let's make that clear. Your sperm and her egg made the child, not just her all by herself. God doesn't point his big gold finger at us ladies and say, it's you. Yet it's not a fucking lottery. So, my advice to you men of Britain is, if you have a child, be a father. That includes every day of the week, being on call 24 hours a day. It is not just up to the mother to raise the child. The father has a massive impact on the child's life, and by not being part of your child's life, you can psychologically damage that child. As much as you think you might be getting back at your bitch of an ex, the only person you are really hurting is your child. She is not hurting because you are hurting her. She is hurting because you are hurting her child. So let that be a fucking lesson to you, and I shall see you next time when I'm spouting shite.